We finally know how the banners for version 5.4 are going to look like, and let's just say it's not looking good. Now, should you pull on these banners, and if so, who should you pull for? Alright, now I'm not gonna sit here and waste your time, cause if I'm being honest, considering we might get Varesa in version 5.5, the only character you should pull for in version 5.4 is Furina. If you somehow don't have her yet, now is the perfect time to get her or her constellations, cause except for Wriothesley, everyone else on these banners is basically trash, especially the new character, like she might actually be worse than Sigewinne. She deals damage by farting at her enemies, and she's basically just completely useless in terms of gameplay, which is probably why they're going to put her into the standard banner later on. Now, I will go back to her in a second, but first I want to quickly go over Sigewinne, Wriothesley, and Furina. So starting with Wriothesley, should you pull for him? The short answer is probably no. The long answer is yes, you might want to pull for him, but only pull for him if you really like him as a character. Because the problem with him is just that he's really not that good as a DPS at C0, and if you want to unlock his full potential, you basically have to get his C1. And even then, there are still way better options, so if you are looking for a strong DPS at C0, then I don't recommend you to pull for him. He's not horrible or anything, it's just that he's not that good compared to all the other characters that you could pull for instead. Now moving on to Sigewinne, she's trash. I'm sorry, but she's just really bad. She's cute and she can heal your team, but that's it. If you want a Hydro healer, just get Kokomi. Sigewinne literally does nothing besides healing your team and dealing absolutely insignificant damage. She's a healer, but at the same time she is somehow a DPS, but then her damage is so bad that you are basically forced to run her as a healer. But if you try to use her as a healer, her Hydro application is so bad you can't even use her in freeze teams or vape teams, which means that there's basically no team to even use her in. I will say though, one thing that's really cool about her is that you can finally get your sweet revenge on these annoying Abyss mages if you have Sigewinne. But now let's talk about Furina. She is arguably the best character we currently have in the game. As long as you have a team-wide healer, you can use Furina in pretty much any team you want. Furina gives a massive damage bonus to your entire team, and she deals a massive amount of Hydro off-field damage while constantly applying a ton of Hydro. So you can use her in vape teams, in freeze teams, in hyperblue teams, in taser teams, and there will be more and more team options for her as time goes on. So yeah, all I can say is, if you somehow don't have Furina yet, now is the perfect time to get her. Alright, now going back to Mizuki, do not pull for her. Seriously, do not pull for this character unless you are a die-hard sim for her. Not only will she very likely be added to the standard banner later on, but she's also one of the worst characters of all time. She's basically like an on-field version of Sucrose, but 10 times worse. She's an on-field swirl DPS, but she can also heal, and even though that doesn't sound too bad, it's actually terrible. Her healing is shit, and she scales with the M, so she can basically only be buffed by Furina, and when you use Mizuki on field, she can't even use her normal attacks, which means you can't use her with characters like Yelan or Xingqiu. And you can look at her gameplay on TikTok or something, she literally has a burst animation in which she farts at you, so I don't know, if you are into that kind of thing, I guess that's also a reason to pull for her. But yeah, seriously though, do not pull for her. Just be patient and choose her for free on the next free 5-star selector on the next Genshin anniversary. Anyway, let me know in the comments who you are going to pull for. Thank you all for watching this video, and as always, I wish you all a nice and wonderful day.